game. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
And welcome to another edition of the Post Game Pines podcast. I'm Mitch Gallo with Sean Campbell. I have to say, I'm pretty content right now because I got a new mug.
Oh, baby. Oh, yeah, I got one, too. I'm using this one right now, but I do have a new one, too. I like it.
That's all right. Thank you to everybody at La Brosse in Pointe Claire. Once again, Sean, today I am drinking Wicked Nor'easter. I don't know. It's pretty late at night when we're recording this podcast, so I don't know if I want to have a coffee beer right now. If not, I would be enjoying an Angry Galileo, but we've had a long night, and that's why, as you can see in the opening, I already had a beer poured, and I'm going to be on to beer number 2 here because it's just it's one of those nights, and I know it's a hard night for some Montreal Canadiens fans. That might give you an inkling as to when this podcast is being recorded, but once again, thanks to the gang at La Brosse for being such great sponsors of the podcast.
Yeah, I went with the La Brosse Gold Digger tonight. I would have a Campbell play-by-play IPA. I like to change it up. I know I have the Campbell play-by-play IPA, and same with the Angry Gallo Ale. I like to change, and their beer is the variety. The Nor'easter is one of my favorites. And, you know, the Campbell play-by-play IPA is based a little bit off the Nor'easter. It's a little different, but so I like the beer that you have, but I'm a big fan of the Gold Digger. It goes down so smooth. So check them out. New hours, curfews changed, and hours and regulations. So check out the new hours at labrosse.com. Check them out on Facebook and 133 LaBrosse in Pointe Claire. Go say hi to the entire gang and get yourself some Campbell play-by-play IPA. My mom went back the other day. She's like, I needed a couple dozen more. I'm like, yeah, that's right, Mom. You go, Mom. Get more Campbell play-by-play IPA.
Love it, Sean. Love it.
All right. We got plenty to get to. Editor headlines a little later on. We haven't done that in a while, so looking forward to that. And the aftermath of the Super Bowl should be fun. But, Mitch, why don't we start with our rapid fire? And our rapid fire questions were provided on social media. So I want you to make sure that you follow us, Sean R. Campbell, Mitch Y. Gallo, Post Game Pints on Twitter, and you could get your chance to win some cool prizes. But I got to say, Johannes, thanks for some of your questions. You put like 7 of them. We're only going to take a couple, but we're going to get into your rapid fire. So your suggestions are happening on the Post Game Pints podcast. So, Mitch, where are we starting with the rapid fire?
Yeah, thank you to Johannes. I hope we're getting his name right.
It's Johannes. I'm not sure. He gave a list. We said, we'll take 3 of those, and you chose them.
And, don't forget, of course, also you could follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And, of course, listen to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. We are trying to be everywhere where we can possibly be, all the different platforms. So thank you for writing us, and congratulations, because I also think you might have a gift certificate coming your way. We'll tell you all about that in just a second. But, Sean, as far as the rapid fire, the first thing you would like to know is who is the most underrated player on the Montreal Canadiens and who is the most overrated player on the Montreal Canadiens.
Overrated, underrated, eh? All right. I'm going to go with the most underrated to start. This is a player that I think has really stabilized the Canadiens' blue line. And I think across the league, you could make the conversation about Jeff Petrie. But I think with the Canadiens, we've known about Jeff Petrie for years. So if we're just in the realm of the Montreal Canadiens, I don't think I can give Jeff Petrie that answer. I think I can if I'm in the context of the National Hockey League. But in the context of the Canadiens, I'm going Ben Sherratt. I think Ben Sherratt has really stabilized what he does in that top four. It was a little bit of a question mark because after everything that happened with Carl Alsner, but it's been a couple of years and dominant playoff performances from Ben Sherratt. I'm going to put him on the underrated. And I know that all the love goes to Weber. It all goes to Petrie. Everybody loves Romanov. But Ben Sherratt has shown up and just said, hey, I'm a top pairing guy. Deal with it. And I think that, for the price, the minutes, the grind that he plays, I'm going to go with Ben Sherratt as the most underrated player on the Canadiens.
Look, I think that's a pretty good answer. I'm not going to lie. Sherratt's been really solid since coming to the Montreal Canadiens. He a lot of people were worried when they signed him. Was this going to be another Carl Alsner? People looked at some of his advanced numbers playing with Winnipeg, a team that doesn't exactly play a puck possession style. Maybe there was some concerns there. And, he's come to Montreal and really shut everybody up and played extremely well. And I like the way you put it. He's like, I'm a top pairing guy now. Deal with it. So,
Yeah.
Sherratt's a great answer. I'll look at the forward group, Sean. I'll say the most underrated player is Thomas Tatar. I look up front and, the kids get a lot of praise with Suzuki and Kotkaniemi. Gallagher gets his due because he's such a battler and he scores, 30 goals a year. Anderson was the big power forward everyone was excited about. The Canadiens finally got him. Toffoli scored so much early in the season for the Canadiens, so he's been talked about a lot. Whereas Thomas Tatar just, quietly goes about doing his thing. And I would pretty much be willing to put a Gallo guarantee that at the end of the season, we'll prorate Thomas Tatar's numbers and he'll be somewhere in the 20 to 25 goal range. His point totals won't change. He'll be right there doing what he always does. And I think he goes a little bit under the radar, Sean. Super skilled guy. I like the way he plays at both ends. I just think he's a really solid hockey player. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not in the top tier of the National Hockey League, but I just think he possesses a little bit of everything. Like, he's a really well-rounded player, and he's a big reason why the Canadiens have had success.
Good skater, good shot, can play on the power play. Doesn't really play the penalty kill, but I bet if you put him in that situation, he would. But he's out there 5-on-5 defending against some of the best players in the National Hockey League. And for me, the Thomas Tatar is the consistency. And you mentioned it. If you're just going to, by the end of the season, if you're going to prorate everything, and I think that's what goes unnoticed, is a player that does that. And even his off year, right, was the year that he got traded from Detroit to Vegas, and he couldn't fit in with Vegas. Still scored 20 goals. Still 20 goals that year. So I think that there's something about these players that are consistent. Like, think about one of the most consistent players in the National Hockey League of all time is one of the most clutch players. And there's always this debate, and no one gave this guy that love until he started winning, Conn Smythe. That's Justin Williams. That guy, year in and year out, just showed up and did his job. That's all he did. And one of the most underrated players because of the consistency that he brought. And I'm not saying that, at the end of Tatar's career, he's going to be like Justin Williams, but he brings consistency. I don't know if he's going to be the clutch player in game sevens that player is, but that consistency is something that any NHL player strives for. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna, you want to finish that up?
No, I'm just going to say, I also was such a fan of the way the Red Wings used to develop their players and bring their guys along during that era where Ken Holland really had a lock on things. And it almost feels like Thomas Tatar was one of the last of that school that the Red Wings used to have. They used to pump out player after player after player. We'll see if they get back to it again now with Steve Yzerman and company. But I just wanted to say that, Detroit was a factory with how they produced players and how those guys were all so well-rounded and such great professionals after playing with Grand Rapids. And Thomas Tatar seems to be one of the last guys to come from that background.
All right, so I'm going to let you go first on the overrated player with the Canadiens.
Well, Sean, I'm going to cop out here a little bit, and I'm not going to say who I think the most overrated player on the roster is now, because I don't see any plus or any reason for me to do that. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to ruffle too many feathers. and I don't want to call anybody overrated because it's not very nice. I think everybody is getting their just due right now. I'll say who I think the most overrated Montreal Canadiens player that I've watched of all time is.
Who's that? Michael Ryder?
No, I love Michael Ryder. I think the most overrated Montreal Canadian player in my lifetime is Alex Kovalev. Alex Kovalev, like the praise he got from the fans, I never understood it because I'd watch him and I'd be like, okay, I get it. Super skilled, very talented. I'm like, he's dogging it half the time. Doesn't look like he's trying like he should. He's not like I see like the Canadian fans always want everyone to play like Gallagher. Well, I'm like, I don't understand the infatuation with Kovalev because he didn't play anything like Gallagher. Like this guy's effort level on occasion was so darn low, and I'd see right through it. And of course, he had shown the ability. It was offensive. He brought you to your seat sometimes. And maybe the market is just starved for that type of star player. And Kovalev was the closest that they came to having that type of guy. But I always just thought Kovalev was so darn overrated when he was with Montreal.
I'm going to give you a name for all time. It's a player that he played on the top line, and it was mainly because the era that he played in for the Canadiens. But I think for the rest of his career, he thought he was a top line player. And I'm like, you're the perfect third line player. Why do you always have to be on the top line? And then when he wasn't on the top line, it seemed like he whined and complained. And I know that kind of happened when he went to another team. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Gonna guess Chris Higgins?
You nailed it. Chris Higgins. Absolutely nailed it. And then maybe it was just a little bit of the attitude after he left the Montreal. I never got it. I was like, you were never a first line player. And I know that he had some productive times. I thought you were going to
give me a player from now.
I was ready to do. I don't know. I was ready to answer.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go Philip Deneau. And here's the thing. I am 100%, and it's just because of where the Canadiens are. I think that his importance is invaluable to the Canadiens right now because of how young their centers are. But if they had regular centers, I think he would be in a different spot. Does that make sense? Because the centers that they have, they need him. And I think that's why there's a value. And I'm not trying to attach a value that he's going to get paid, because I think he's going to get paid. And I think that there's a demand for a player like that with Montreal or anywhere else. But I think that his value is high just because the youth that the Canadiens have. So then there's a lot more pressure on him to perform, and it's hurting him a little bit. Do you understand where my angle is here? Whereas I don't think it it's the other way. Like, I don't think it in the overall of the NHL, but his value with the Canadiens is like because of who he's playing with and where he stands. And I think that that's kind of maybe affecting him a little bit. I think that if he was with another franchise, not that I don't think he's going anywhere, but if he was with another franchise, he would just be who he is. But now it's like he's overvalued because of who he's surrounded with. Does that make sense? Did I make any sense there?
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. And I'm sorry I didn't give you an answer. But here's what I'm going to do, Sean.
Just say Carey Price and you'll be, I said an answer?
No, I'm not just going to throw out an answer like that. But clearly I don't want to tell you who I think the most overrated player is. And I don't want to tell you, the people out there, who I think the most overrated player is. But what I'm going to do, Sean, is if somebody responds and can guess correctly who I think the most overrated player on the Montreal Canadiens is, we will give them a $20 gift certificate to Cunningham's Pub, where they can purchase the most delicious wings imaginable.
Oh, I love it. And I know that our pop quiz is brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. But I like this. If you can guess who Gallo thinks is the most overrated player on the Canadiens, then you win yourself. The first person to guess. Oh, I like this. I like this at all. Can I guess? Because I don't know. No,
you cannot guess. This is not for you.
But I'll go, if you go get your wings, I'll go with you. But I mean, I'll just go behind you in 6 feet distance.
That's fine.
All right. Johannes also sent in a question in our rapid fire. What's the best thing about the Bell Center and the worst thing about the Bell Center?
All right. Which one do you want to start with here?
Okay, so here's the thing. Do you want me to answer this how I go to the Bell Center every single day and I'm in the media? Because I've been to like one game for the Canadiens in the stands in the last 8 years, maybe 2. But I work every game. I'm there. I know the Bell Center inside and out. And I've been there as a fan throughout my whole life. How am I supposed to answer this?
Yeah, but the thing is, Sean, you're right. Maybe you don't go to that many hockey games as a fan. I might even go to more than you do. However, you go to concerts, you go to WWE.
Okay, that's fine. I want to know, am I answering it as a member of the media, or am I answering someone who just goes to the Bell Center?
It's gotta be as a fan, just someone who goes to the Bell Center.
Okay. So you want the best thing?
Yeah.
Not a bad seat in the house. I've as a fan, I've sat middle corner, the worst seats, and I was like, I see the ice perfectly. I've sat middle, last row. I've sat, front row in the Desjardins. I honestly have yet to sit in a seat where I was like, this is uncomfortable, and I know it's always tight, but my first for positive, there's not a bad seat in the house. That's what I'm going to say. For good. There's a lot of good, but I love a building. I've been in lots of buildings. Like, how do you sit there? Like, what's going on? Like, you have to move. And I've been in a lot of buildings, and they're not built for hockey, or they're not built properly. In the Bell Center, for 21,000, how steep it is. I know sometimes it's high. I like height. When I'm watching sports, it's like I like it for football. I like it for hockey. There's not a bad seat in the house.
Now that was going to be my answer, so I'm going to have to change on the fly here.
Damn.
Because I agree with you. I am going to say the feeling I get when the arena is completely filled, the goosebumps, the energy that seems to be in that place. I've been to a lot of arenas, Sean, across the National Hockey League, and nowhere gives me the feeling that I get when I enter the Bell Center. And I get that feeling every single time I'm in the arena.
Yeah, I like that too. There's at where we work at TSN 690, there's this big mural kind of canvas painting light in the back, and it was from a playoff game. And I'm a little jealous because I remember I pointed you out, like, Gallo, that's you. You're there, and I see you. I know I was there. I know where I am. I'm just not in the angle of the photo. And you're just like, you're like a little speck, like right, like there. But I'm like, that was you, because I saw your computer up, and I know where you sit, and you were like, yeah, that's me. And I could see over a little bit. There was Knuckles, and I'm like, there's Knuckles right there, and I'm like, I'm not in this picture. I was like sad.
I wonder which game that was.
It captures the feeling. It was Habs Ottawa playoff game.
Yeah.
Worst thing about the Bell Center, like, is we just go price, like, for like what you buying, and like, because that's tough.
I don't know. It seems par for the course, so I don't really.
I know what it is, and it's like, but that's what keeps me, is like, oh man, I go there to watch a WWE or this, and it's like, man, it's $12 a beer, but I need this.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't know.
I'm
like,
go
it's my first complaint, but I know how supply and demand is, and I know that I buy it. Like,
yeah, I'm going to go a little bit simpler than that, Sean, because that doesn't bother me. It's kind of par for the course, and it's that way everywhere. I'm just going to say it's old. It's old now. Like, you look across the league, and everybody, no, so I shouldn't say everybody, but most teams are on to another arena by now. And I know it's crazy to think, what year was it that they moved in? 96?
96.
96. So it's crazy to think that an arena would already be old in such a short amount of time. But man, 1996, that's a long time. Like, you look at it, and Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, they got some of the oldest rinks in the league. Most of the other teams have moved by now. So it's my only criticism, is that it's a bit outdated.
But it's got feeling. I know it doesn't have Forum feeling, and I've been to the Forum, and I know the Forum, but it's got feeling now. The Bell Center's got feeling, and there's some buildings that don't have feeling. That building still has feeling, and for a new old building, there's MSG, which is great, and we know what the Forum was and all that stuff. But it's got feeling. Some of these new buildings still don't have any life. All right, because I want to get to other headlines. I still want to get to pop quiz. One more. chances of the Canadiens winning the cup from Johannes? That is the question.
Um,
You want my answer?
sure.
1-8.
1-8.
I think they're one of the top 2 teams in their division. There's only going to be by that point. There's 4 divisions, 2 teams at the end in that division. So their chances are 1-8. That's what I'm going to give you. Maybe a little higher, like 1-9, because they're not as good as maybe like a Tampa or the way the Boston's roll in. But 1-8, because I think that they could be one of the final 8 teams in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when the playoffs roll around, anything can happen. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but we've seen teams come out of nowhere in that format. So I'll say 1-16.
1-16. Okay. I'm okay with that. Mitch, before we get to editor headlines, I want to welcome somebody else to the family here at the Post Game Pints podcast. And I know you're excited. I know Dave's excited. I know I'm going to need to get a dog, but I want to welcome Wolfpack, and I want you to go check them out at wolfpacks.ca to find out what they're all about. But welcome, Wolfpack, to the Post Game Pints podcast family.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wolfpack. My doggo Vader is going to be very happy that Wolfpack is aboard.
Yeah, so we'll have more and tell you all about them in the coming weeks. But welcome aboard to Wolfpack. Wolfpacks.ca is their website. Check it out, and you'll see that you'll want to get involved with them too. Editor headlines, Mitch. It's been a long time since we've done this. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know. I know I have a couple bad ones, but I think I have some really good ones too.
I think I have all bad ones.
Oh, nice. I like the bad ones. What do you got? You got one theme, or are you all over the place?
No, it's all Super Bowl.
Okay. So you normally go first. So I'm going to let you do 2 and 3. Can I, because mine are all Super Bowl but 1.
Okay.
So can I do my 1 that's not Super Bowl? Then we'll go on to Super Bowl.
Go for it.
Okay. The Canadiens brought their red reverse retro jerseys. They wore the blue. I know there's people love them. There's people that hate them, but they lost. They lost in those jerseys to the Senators. So my headline reads, red, white, and boo.
Sean, I thought so. I can riff off you right now. And by the way, I give you a thumbs up. But I would have made it even better.
Yeah.
I would have went with red, white, and lose.
I would have went with red, white, and blue urns. I was saying boo urns. Cheers. All right, I just threw out like 3 of them out there, but that was just 1. All right, go 2 in a row. Super Bowl editor headlines. The rest of mine are all Super Bowl.
All right, first Super Bowl 1, Sean. And I used this song in the past on editor headlines when we had our show on TSN. And I can't remember if I used it for this player. So if this is a repeat, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you if I remember.
The first time on the podcast. So remember the Carly Rae Jepsen song?
Yeah, I love that. Call me baby.
Yeah, so my headline is simple. So here's my number, and call me Brady.
His number 7.
Yeah. Am I doing 2 in a row?
Yeah, you go 2 in a row because I usually finish it off.
All right, my next one's very simple. By the way, I see room for Dave trying to do it to edit in a lot of sound here for us.
Oh, I hope so. I don't know. That's his job.
Number 2 is very simple.
Yeah.
I'm going with Lord of the Rings.
I get it. Yeah, makes sense. I like you're playing with it. You're gonna have some Lord of the Rings music.
That's why I said Dave trying to do it might have a couple edits now.
All right. I don't have music for mine or music theme, but the Chiefs scored all these touchdowns all season long, right? like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. They were one of the top scoring teams in the entire season, and they lose in the Super Bowl. They didn't score a touchdown, Mitch. Three field goals. That's it. That's it for the Chiefs. So the Chiefs were kicked to the curb.
No, I'm not giving you that one.
No, it's okay. It's not my best one.
Yeah, you can
I
do
told-
better than that.
I told you I had some bad ones.
Sean, all right. I have my last three with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
As we saw in the Super Bowl, he was running for his life. He was getting no protection from his offensive line. So my headline reads, Mahomes alone.
I just kind of rewatched those movies, so I'm okay with it. That's okay. Mahomes alone. I was trying to find something with Mahomes. I had a
got
Pat
two
one
more with him, so
yeah. I have a Pat one, but I got rid of it. So I'm going to go to my Tom Brady. You had a Brady one. I'm going to go with my Brady one. We know how many Super Bowls he has now. We know how many Super Bowl MVPs he has now, how many appearances he has now. Well, Brady's got a bunch.
all right. I'll give you that one.
Good play on words.
Yeah. All right. I got two more.
Mhm.
Another one for Mahomes, Sean, and the fact that he was getting no protection. The lights are on, but nobody's Mahomes.
Not bad. That would have been great if he was knocked out with a concussion. Oh no, that wouldn't have been nice.
No.
All right. This one's for you. This is for all the people that are, there's the Tom Brady haters, Mitch Gallo, but you get bombarded by the Tom Brady lovers. And these are the people that were Patriots fans and are now Bucks fans, but they don't even care. They're just Tom Brady in your face all the time. Hey, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Why don't you acknowledge him as the GOAT? He's right.
It's so annoying.
It's just yeah, he's great. He's the best. Congratulations. Yeah, I get it. Okay. I know you have to deal with it probably a little more than I do because you're very upfront with how much you hate Tom Brady. So I'm just going to give a headline for those guys. Pom-poms for Tom-toms.
Love it, Sean. Ding, ding, ding. All right.
That's if Dave's gotten to the course about digital editing.
Yeah. And my final one, season is over for the Kansas City Chiefs, Sean.
Yeah.
So my headline reads, Country road, take my home to the place he belongs.
You just that is a great Bell Center moment. Right? With the third
Agreed.
period, then they play the chorus, and then they drop everything, and everybody keeps singing. I know you love that.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, and they're not the only arena that does it, but I know. All right, this one's for you. I knew I wanted to finish with this one. Heading into the season, what was the biggest storyline when the season started? Tom Brady leaving the Patriots, right?
Sure, yeah.
And going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then it was, who's going to do better? Are the Patriots going to do better with Belichick, without Brady, or is Brady going to do better? Who's going to make the playoffs? Who's going to go further? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Well, we got our answer. And our answer is, buck you, Belichick.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I told you I had some good ones to finish off. It's a good name for the podcast, Buck You, Belichick. I don't know. I still like pom-poms for tom-toms.
Like
All right.
Country road.
Mitch, the pop quiz always brought to you by Cunningham's Pub, and check them out in St. Anne de Bellevue. You could get order on their Facebook. You could order online for Cunningham's Pub. Make sure you get that order in because those chicken wings are flying. Cunningham's Pub in St. Anne de Bellevue, the best chicken wings. Halle Berry says so, and we're still waiting to get her on the podcast. Mitch, I have a little podcast pop quiz for you. Are you ready to go?
I'm born ready.
All right. So in one of the more recent episodes in a random sports slots, I said I thought Matthews, and Marner will one day go 1-2 in NHL scoring. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Since 1990, that has happened 4 times. Can you name the 7 players that have done it? 1-2 in NHL scoring from the same team since 1990.
It's happened 4 times, but there's 7 players.
Do some math, you know.
So you just want the individual players.
Well, get the pairings up, you know.
Okay. Yager Lemieux.
Yes, that happened in 1996.
Lemieux Francis.
Nope.
Forsberg Sakic.
No. Let's just say when you did that second guess, you got half of it right.
Yeah, I figured so.
He's the one that did it twice.
Yeah.
Mario Lemieux did it twice.
Yeah, Lemieux Recchi.
Nope.
Lemieux Mullen.
Nope. It's like, it's not Yager, then who?
Lemieux Stevens.
You got it. Lemieux Stevens in 1992, 91, 92. So you got the Penguins out of the way. But there are 2, 4 more players left. Did 1-2 in NHL scoring since 1990.
And so there's no repeats.
No, there's no repeats the rest of the way.
All right. Henrik and Daniel.
No.
Crosby,
You know
Malkin?
what? Nope. There's a lot of, you know what I noticed? I'm going to have to look this up. When I was looking into this, there's a lot of teammates that finished 2-3.
Yeah. Because I'm just trying to go over the Art Ross Trophy winners and think if there's
And then find
anybody.
their team. Yeah, and
find the teammate.
Yeah.
That's why Forsberg, Sakic, you said no. Yager won it like 7 times in the 90s.
Yeah. There's one that's a split generation. There's like from the old generation and the new generation, they cross paths.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of them to give you a clue, and one you are totally overlooking.
One I'm totally overlooking.
You're overlooking one 100%. The other one is like he's retired now and one's still playing type of generation. And they were one scoring.
Yeah.
If that gives you any. And feel free on the pop quiz, get your answers in. You could comment as you're watching here on YouTube or listening on SoundCloud or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts on iTunes. You can tweet us directly at Mitch Y. Gallo, Sean R. Campbell, as Mitch tries to answer this pop quiz brought to you by Cunningham's Pub.
Saint Louis LeCavalier? Saint Louis Richards?
I said 2 different generations.
2 different generations.
One's retired, one's still playing.
This doesn't help me.
Richards and LeCavalier are both retired.
Yeah.
Look for a player on Tampa Bay that is active.
Oh, St. Louis Stamkos?
There you go. 2013.
St. Louis led the league in scoring in 2013?
Yep.
Oh, because I was thinking about the time he led the scoring in 2004. I didn't realize he did it 10 freaking years later.
He was pretty good at hockey.
No kidding. Thornton Marlowe?
No. You're totally overlooking this one. I don't know how many clues I want to give on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
How about don't think too hard? It'll come to you. It should have been the first thing you said.
Ovechkin Backstrom?
No. So you're thinking too hard for that one. Like, what's the simplest thing you could say right now? Simplest thing.
No, Gretzky Messier?
No. You're going in the wrong direction.
Wrong direction?
Yeah.
I only have 2 minutes left here.
Okay, well, you said Gretzky and Messier. You're in the wrong direction, but you're on the right team.
Oh, McDavid Draisaitl.
Last year.
Right.
It's funny. That's the one you didn't really get.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go. You got him.
Oh, there's no more?
No, there's 4. Since
Okay.
1990.
My brain hurts now. It's too late at night for this. I told you we're late at night right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. My beer's empty. I need another one. Thanks to LaBrosse, as always, here on the Post Game Pints podcast. Hey, at least we could say bye to Brian Wild now, like last episode, just cut us off completely. Bye, Brian. Thanks for joining us.
Brian!
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
Awesome!
No.
Come on.
VBF.